Hello everybody and welcome back to another FTB Infinity Expert Skyblock mode. We are just cruising along with the world. We're starting to get some development in. And you know, we're going to need to do a few changes, well, especially with the big area here. But I'll do most of those, I think, on stream and all that kind of stuff. I do want to kind of do a bit more of a fun project. It's still very useful, but it's something that's really expensive for what it produces. But you know what? Let's just have a little bit of fun today. Over in the Thaumcraft area here, I can give you a quick update. I have kind of developed a little bit of an area. Now, I'm not sure if I need to go bigger than this. This is a 9x9 space, basically, for what I was thinking could be the infusion altar. And then I was kind of planning on potentially expanding out the backside here for the desk and all that kind of stuff. But I'm undecided for now. But for this exact second, what I want to do is I just want to place these guys down in this area. That way I don't have to worry about them. As bad as that sounds. I just want to place them down because I'm sick of having them just clogging up all my inventory, if you know what I mean. So we'll just slap these guys down over here for right now. And like I said, maybe we could do the arcane infusion here. And then maybe in the middle here down the road, we'll have the applied energistics thaumic setup, like right here is what I'm thinking. And then on the other side, we can have all of our crucibles and alembics and whatever else we need over there. That could work pretty good. I kind of went with a sunken theme, so just a little bit of a change from some of the others. And I think that's going to work out quite well. It'll give you a nice viewpoint and whatnot of all the infusion that's going on. But let's get going on a couple other things instead. So over here, I am currently melting down some resonant ender, and a decent amount of it too. Do I have the tank in here? I do. Alright, good. Let's fill up this tank. Now, what I want to make is enderium, and I want to make it in the smeltery, because it is decently cheap in the smeltery, and we might as well do that. Alright, so 8 and 8 and 16 tin should do the job. Good. And we'll get these guys started to smelt down. Turn that off for right now. Boom, boom, boom. Beautiful. I want to use up that lava too and eventually switch over to blazing pyrotheum. So that's another thing. Alright, we should be, that's it, right? Done and done. 8,000. That's right. Okay, good. And for now, I don't have another drain, so we'll just remove those. And let's get a liquid transfer node, just like that. I should probably actually keep this over here or something like that. We'll place down the tank and then the transfer node, like so. And we should start to see the resonant ender going in. Excellent. It's not overly fast. I don't need to upgrade it. We're not doing a lot of this stuff, so we'll just leave it at that. Then we need to get out these two items, and we can get our enderium going. We're almost done. Good. Okay, empty tank. Beautiful. Love it. And empty transfer node that just went in there. Really? Alright. So we can slap down this guy and put back on our seared faucet. I could use the fluid liquid transfer node right there onto the basin. That is a thing that we could do, but I'm not going to do it right just yet. We don't really have it automatically set up very efficiently. Over here, I'm just still working on the bees. We're trying to get the next level up, which is the diligent combined with the unweary, which gives you the... Oh man, I know this. I can't remember what it's called now. Oh dang. Well, we need to figure it out either way. So we have unweary, so we need to get a diligent drone. Diligent drone, nice. And combine those. And over here, I'm still working on my imperial a little bit. Okay, that's a thing. Let's breed those again. Hold on. I better identify it just in case. Imperial noble. Yeah, we need to breed it again. Okay, we need to get that noble gone and out of there. But yeah, so I'm still working on the bees and all that stuff as well. But let's get this enderium and let's get started on the next project. It's kind of a fun one. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to remove one water wheel. And I'd like to replace all of these water wheels with this system. I think it's just going to look awesome. I honestly do believe that. And it will produce a little bit more power than the water wheels do. Water wheels are about, 150, no, what is it, 75 or something like that, 80. So this guy can produce, I think, up to 620. It's still, like I said, not very efficient or anything like that, don't get me wrong, but it is going to look pretty darn awesome, and I like it. Alright, so I'm bringing you back in, and I thought about it actually while I was just, getting crafting and everything. We worked on the MFR harvesters, and I ran power all the way over, and I just absolutely hate having this here. I think it's so unclean and not good, just almost like that redstone over there, which I gotta still come up with a solution for that. But, so I think I'm gonna remove all the wiring that I did underneath, and the first one of these that we're gonna build is actually going to be for our farm over here. So let's get what we need for this, and this, I think it's about 620 once it's fully built. I think we're only going to build the one that does about 320 RF per tick for now, but that should be more than enough, if I remember correctly, for the harvester. The harvester is 240. Ooh, okay, well, that should still be okay. That's per work, so well, we'll find out, I guess. Anyways, so the thing that we're going to make is a thermoelectric generator. Now, the recipe has changed in the expert mode, which it kind of bugs me a little bit, because this is actually kind of a fun little build that you can do. And some of you guys may actually love it as a passive generation type system. But in this, it does require enderium and this Constantan ingot. Constantan's actually really cheap. It's just copper and nickel. Not very difficult at all to make that guy, but you do need an HV capacitor and high voltage wire coil. A little expensive, but you know what, we're gonna have some fun. Why not? So the first thing that we need is the HV wire coils, just like that, and then we need our HV capacitor, like so, 2 of them. Oh, I need a lot more than 2 of them. I need a lot of steel for this. Ay chihuahua. Boy, oh boy, do I ever need a lot of steel for this. All right, that's okay. We'll get it. Maybe it'll be a work in progress type thing. So there's our high voltage wire coil, and boom and boom. So this is going to give us 2 of these things. Now, that was really expensive. All things considered, each one of these produces about 31 RF per tick at maximum. Now, I don't have too much refined iron here. We really don't. We need to get more steel in general producing. Let's see what we can do here. Refined iron. Let's take a look at the different recipes again. I think the best way is still the coal, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the coal powder with iron, basically. This guy right there. That's still, I think, the best way for us to go to get it. Regular steel is a little bit more complicated, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, that's dark steel. That's electrical steel. Steel. Okay, let's take a look. Blast furnace and arcane infusion. That's it. Steel ingot tinkers. What's the smeltery recipe? Is there one? There isn't one. Okay. And solar expansion, I think, is the exact same. Yeah. Okay, so refined iron's definitely the way to go, and probably in that induction smelter. So what I think I'm going to do is let's get some of that at least started. We'll just pulverize up some of this stuff. Good, we're set to push that directly over, and we'll get some of this going just to get some more steel producing, because we're going to need it very, very soon to make all of these. Now, the problem with these, again, you need to make like 10 to 20 of these things to actually make them somewhat decently effective. So that's a thing as well. It also means I'm going to need more creosote, which we have a whole tank somewhere of creosote. I just have to find it, and once we have that, we should be good to go. We just need to get the steel, and yeah. So I have a lot of work ahead of me. Let's get started on all of this stuff here, and I'll be back with you guys once we're a little bit closer to finishing. Alright, so I should have the last little bit. In case you can't tell, that's an entire stack of iron. Sorry, steel, refined iron. So that guy should give us that. We have the 4 more HV capacitors, and this should give us 10. Now, I think this build that I wanted to do takes 20, but we're a long ways away from that, so I think we'll just stick with 10 for the build for now. Now, the next thing that we need is we're going to need some blazing pyrotheum. Now, I'm not sure if we need an entire stack. Like, if we need the source block beside it, I'm assuming we do. So that would be, at least we need 10 buckets of this stuff. So, without further ado, I think it's 4 per bucket. So we're going to need 40 pyrotheum. Good. And we're also going to need to put that in the magma crucible. So let's get that guy fired up. And the other thing that we want is gelid cryotheum. This stuff is basically the coldest stuff that you can get. And it's not that difficult to make. Oh boy, maybe it is. I forgot, we need snowballs. We need snowballs. I completely forgot all about that. Okay. Well, I guess that means that we need to get a new machine. Yeah, I think we need a new machine. And for that, we're going to need 9 more iron plates and a couple of other things. The thing that we're going to need is the glacial precipitator from thermal expansion. There is, I could get the snowbell and all that kind of stuff. Actually, let's take a look at that. How much does that take? Cryotheum. This guy. Snowball. Snowbell seeds. Mandrake and belladonna. I don't have either of those. I don't have either of those. We'd have to sieve grass. Okay. Yeah, that's not really an option at this point in time. So we're going to make the glacial precipitator. I'm going to get everything prepared for that. It's pretty straightforward, but I'm going to get it all prepped, and then we'll come back and get it made. Yeah. Yeah, we will. Alright, so glacial precipitator, got it all done. Excellent. Pretty straightforward. I had the wrong recipe. I thought it was a bucket for whatever reason. I was probably thinking fluid transposer. Now, I want to actually just pipe in directly to the water source that we have here feeding our carpenter as well. So this is kind of the time here where we start to think about, maybe I didn't set this all up all that correctly. But that should give us some water at some point in time, and we need snowballs. So we'll leave it on snowball setting. Once we have water, it's starting to work already. Good. Okay. Now, these guys will need to move up. So let's quickly grab a hardened flux duct. We'll just move them straight up vertically in the same orientation than what that they were before. So boom and boom. That way we can actually smelt up our gelid cryotheum that we're going to make. Alright, so the cryotheum, what was it again? It was snowballs. Good. Now we're going to need 40 of these things, so we're going to need a decent amount of snowballs. Let's just take a few out here while we go. Blizz powder, which is destabilized redstone on a snowball. So we need about 20 total of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And let's get some destabilized redstone. Now, how much is it? Is it the 200? Okay, so 200. That's good. And these each give 100. So we need 20, so that's 40 redstone. I think that's right. I think we're looking at 40 redstone. Worst case, I'm sure we could always use a little bit of extra anyways. So a little bit of redstone in here, getting smelted up. We'll throw in the snowballs and at least get that process started. And then over here, we need another 20 snowballs just like that. Okay, this guy will just leave. We'll set it and forget it. It's got the snowballs in it. We're good to go for now. We can fill that up again. Good. Okay, so we have a few spare snowballs. That's all right. We need some niter or saltpeter. I think it was nitor that we made before, right? With the sandstone. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So we need to get some sandstone going. Again, pretty straightforward. Nothing too crazy going on here. We'll do this. Boom, boom. Pull out that sulfur. Really unnecessary. Sulfur, I tell you. We may have had some leftovers. Let's actually just take a look. Remember, with the niter, you can just kind of click, and it'll show you which chest it's in. If you do have a terrible chest sorting system, like I do currently, I can admit it. Don't worry. I can fully admit it. Alright, and we're going to need 16 electrotine. Very good. And, no, sorry, 24. Good. Awesome. Now, we're going to need a lot of niter, so I think we're going to need more sandstone, like so. Let's get as much as we can going here. We're pretty good. These still have a decent amount of room, even though the bars are quite full. So that's 10. We got a long ways to go on that. But we do have all of our blizz powder. Good. So this guy, snowball. Now all we need is the niter. So we can start actually crafting some of this. We'll just take these guys as well and get some of this going. At least this will be a start. Do we only get one per? Oh my god, we only get one per, don't we? Does it give more though? Please tell me it gives more. Yeah, it gives 250. Okay. We may already have enough then. No, we don't have enough. 250. That's 4. Yeah, no, we're still going to need a lot. It's fine. It's fine. No big deal. Alright, so we're going to need a decent amount of this stuff. I'm going to finish making the rest of the gelid cryotheum, or the cryotheum dust, which turns into gelid cryotheum, and then we can start building the setup. Alright, so we're pretty much back. As we're just finishing up the gelid cryotheum, I want to get some of the supplies around, and we're going to jump into a little bit of chisel. And what we're going to do is some chisel factory blocks. Actually, do I have some? Let's just find out. And boom. Do we have chisel blocks? I don't know if we do. We may have used them up. I thought I had some, though. Didn't I have some? Anyways, I guess I don't. Maybe we... I thought I made some for the stream. Oh, yeah, we used them already, didn't we? Alright, so we need a bit more of these factory blocks. So a little bit of stone. 4. You know what? Let's get a whole stack here. Let's do the whole shebang. 8 iron. Good. And factory block, just like so. So that'll give us a whole stack. Now, I do want to get out the chisel. And I think what we're going to go with is... which one is it? Which one do I like? I think the worn metal column. Let's give this guy a try. I think it's the style I'm looking for overall. We should almost be done here. Yes, okay. I think we got just enough nitor. We did. Or niter. Nitor. Different things. Don't get them confused. Alright, so that should give us enough gelid cryotheum. That's 10 buckets worth. Awesome. Okay, good. So we're pretty much set up for fluids. We're set up for the generator as well. We've got a bit of the factory blocks. I think the only thing else that we need is a little bit of glass. 4 may be enough. We need to chisel it as well. I want to do some sort of good chisel or something like that. I don't know if there's a good one for this or not. We could go with... Let's just stick with the borderless for now. And we're going to saw that as well. We're going to saw it down into covers, just like before. So that'll give us a whole... or half a stack of covers. Very good. What else can we do to make this thing a little bit more funky? Let's see. Is there like a warning block or something like that? Oh, there is warning blocks. Ooh, warning sign fire. Okay, how do I make these? I've never made these. So a sign with some stone. I've never ever used these before. So let's give them a try. Why not? Why not? Do we have any signs anywhere? I don't think I've made any. No, I don't think we've done that. I don't believe we have. Alright, I got some wood in here. So let's do 3. And then we'll just get... Actually, I have sticks. I have sticks. No, no, no. 3 and 2. Good. And some sticks. 1 stick to be exact. And we'll make ourselves a sign. That's not how you make a sign. You need more wood than that. There we go. Acrylic dirt right there. Alright, good. A sign. We'll put that in the middle. And we'll get this all the way around. Good. Okay, that gives us more than enough. We are not going to use that many at all. And then we should be able to chisel this as well from chisel. Now, one of them I want to be the fire. I only want 1, though. Okay, so 1 to be fire. And is there like a... like a cool... cryogenic freezing in process. Yes, that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Okay. And then I think we can saw these down as well into the same kind of covers. Yeah, slabs, panels, and covers. Good. And same thing here. We can do it with the cryogenic. Oh, this is beautiful. I love it. I love it so much. Let's have a little bit of fun when building this thing. Now, I'm going to design this thing as if I'm going towards the 640 setup that I was planning on getting to. Now, this will only be about half the design then, for now. So let's jump on over here. I need a few blocks, and we'll get this thing started up. Alright, so I've kind of decided here that we can, you know, build this out a little bit more. And what I want to have is like a little walkway in between here. So we'll leave a space for 3 wide walkway, but in the middle is where we're going to store this device. So right about there, if I'm not mistaken, is where we are going to initially place it down. So one of the things that we'll need is we'll need a little bit of a bottom platform. So we'll remove these 3. I do want it to kind of be like a central type thing. Is that what we want? No, that's not the one I want. That is not the one I want at all. Where is it? Shiny metal? Is it shiny metal? It might be shiny metal. Hold on. Let's find out. Yeah, that works good. Yeah, it looks very industrial and like it's meant for this. Alright, good. So that leaves a 3 wide gap. That should work quite nicely. Yeah. Okay. Do we want to make this even cooler though? So this guy will be gone. That will eventually be like a capacitor bank of some kind. And then we're going to need the glass panels running up the sides. Do we want to add to it though? I think we do. I think we want to make this a little bit cooler than what I have even right here. So let's move this all out 1. So we'll go out 1 like this, just expanding on it a little bit. That'll go like so. We can put in these covers again so that I don't fall through, like that. Good. And these guys will then have all the glass. Now, the thermoelectric generators are going to run 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 high. Very good. And same here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high. Good. And then we will have the same kind of setup on the top as well. Just like so. But this one we will keep fully capped for now. Put a torch just to keep it, you know, kosher and all that kind of stuff. And in the meantime, we will have... Is that going to be okay? I guess that's okay, right? That's a pretty decent sized structure, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're okay with that. And then what we'll do is we will have the covers just kind of here, like so, just on the outside, so that we can still store the liquid in behind. Oh, yes. Love it. Okay. So we'll just place down that guy so that we can get that cover in place. There we go. And these covers will then store the fluids. And what these machines do is they take the fluids that we've created. So like the Cryotheum, for example, we'll place down right in here. And I'm pretty sure it needs to be source blocks. So I'm going to be a little bit more diligent than I maybe have to be. But I'm going to place them down all the way up here. Like so. And these guys, what it does is it takes the difference between the two temperatures of the fluids. And that's how it generates the RF. Oh boy, we are about to have a restart. Shucks. Okay. Well, I guess we're going to have a restart. So that means I'll have to be back. But we can also then add our warning panels instead. Is that gonna... Yeah, that's all gonna come on out, isn't it? It's fine. There we go. Warning panel. Coolant. Awesome. So, I'll be right back once I get this all set up. Alright, so we're going to need a few carpenter's wedges here, I think, too, for design. Maybe I'll just leave the carpenter's blocks in there for now. And let's go back. We're pretty much done. There's a little bit more that I need to do. I accidentally misclicked on one of the things, so that caused a little bit of a problem. I've also made a little bit of a buffer. I don't think the Pyrotheum will come out and burn things down, but I've decided a little bit of buffer probably was a good idea. Alright, so we will just place in our last couple Pyrotheums here. Very good. And we're going to need another cover, like so. And one more, oh, I forgot one more bucket. I had to make another one. Completely forgot about it. So we'll head on back over there. Let's get the last bucket going of blazing Pyrotheum. Now these guys should already be operating. And what I'll have to do is I'm going to make a capacitor bank to go on the bottom. And you'll see here in the middle, I have hollowed it out and put in the hardened flux ducts. And they're full already, so we really are kind of wasting a little bit of opportunity and power at this point in time. So we'll place down that guy. Good. So these are now fully set up. This will go on top like so. Watch out for fire. That's a thing. We have to clean that up a little bit. I really like the warning signs. I think that looks pretty darn good. But equally, we can do some things to kind of improve this quite a bit. Let's see. How do we want to do this? I saw a design, and the person's design was pretty darn awesome. So I think I'm going to kind of go with that. So we're going to go across like so. And then we'll just carpenter wedge in the corner. And this will kind of make it seem almost like a little reactor or something like that, you know what I mean? And I think it's a pretty good idea overall. So I'm gonna roll with this. Let's get the hover going. Oh yeah, see, I like it already. That fire up there scares me. We might need to fix that a little bit. Now that's pretty good, and we'll do the same thing up here. Pretty straightforward. I'm gonna get this done, and then we will see how it looks overall. Alright, so now it's time to kind of finish this thing up, and then I gotta wire it up to some harvesters and all that kind of stuff, but for the most part we're pretty good. I need a few more of these guys, these warning blocks, 1 2 3 4 to be exact. Boom, just like so. Good. Okay, now one of the fun tricks, and I completely forgot something back at base. One of the fun tricks with carpenter blocks is the fact that you can use them as lights as well. So up on top here, you can see that we have a bit of a warning platform like, danger, don't go in here. So we can place a carpenter's block there, and we can still coat it with the same thing. It still doesn't look too bad. You lose a little bit with this effect, but it's not too bad at all, and you're not going to see it all that often. And then just shift right click with a piece of glowstone dust on that carpenter block, and you can see that it is now all lit up. So we have this nice warning symbol on the top that this is like this thermoelectric reactor of awesomeness with, you know, fire and cooling and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, we can kind of just finish this guy up a little bit like so. I did want to bring you guys back in right at the end of the video here, and I want to explain to you something that's really cool, and that is I will be going to PAX East. Yes, I just got confirmation that I can get tickets. A big thanks to the FTB team and the FTB group. They helped me secure them, even though I'm super late to do so. But I think that's looking not bad for a little thermoelectric generator. So I'm super excited. It's in April, and maybe I'll see some of you guys there. But I'm also looking forward to meeting all the new people that I've met through the group and all that kind of stuff as well. I'm looking forward to it more than you could probably even realize. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So in the meantime, I'm going to set up a capacitor on that thing. Oh god, how much is that going to cost us? We could probably just go with the MV one. Yeah, we have an MV capacitor somewhere, don't we? Where is it here? Control. There it is. It's in here. Got you. Okay, maybe we'll just do this then. We'll throw it down. Let's make sure it's all set properly. That's an input. Good. We have outputs on what appears to be pretty much all the sides. Okay. Good enough for me. All right. Let's get our jetpack. We'll set up this capacitor, and then that will allow us to wire everything together, which is beautiful. Now, this guy should, if I'm not mistaken, be about 320 RF per tick. Like I said, this is more of a fun build than anything. Oh, I'm short one hardened flux duct. Let's go get that first. Yeah, so this is more of a fun build that I really have been wanting to do for quite some time. So I hope you guys liked it. It's kind of different. It's not something you'll see all the time. And it's really not overly efficient for the cost at this current standpoint. But, you know, it's one of those things. A little bit of fun never does you wrong. Alright, good. And we can smack the bottom here to be an output, just like so. Good. And then from there we can wire up our stuff, which means I can get rid of these ugly things. Yes, indeed. We may need to like find a way to convert this floor out from a half slab or something, but I'll have to figure that one out on my own. Oh god, what did I do? Why did I use skystone here? I don't know, but this is going to take forever. So that's a perfect time to end it. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the ultra inefficient thermoelectric reactor. I find them a little expensive. I'm just gonna put it out there. Maybe I'll bring that up at our next meeting. But I do find them a little expensive, but it is passive power generation, so it's really not that big of a deal. You can kind of just set it and forget it, which is, I guess, also quite nice. You can just use lava and water as well. You won't get as good of a return in RF per tick. I think it's down a little bit compared to the Pyrotheum and Cryotheum that I am using, but it definitely is a thing that you can use. Anyways, that is it. Bye-bye for now, and I'll see you next episode.